What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Broscast, episode 210. My name is Harrison. I am joined by brother Nick, as always. Nick, it may be April Fool's Day, but we ain't fooling around with this podcast.
No jokes.
We got some
No
stuff
jokes.
to talk about.
We're not having any fun on this podcast.
No, there's no fooling around. It's straight. Yeah, it's just straight professionalism here. Over here at
Professionalism.
Broscast.
Absolutely. You know how it is.
Yeah,
We keep it 100.
we keep it 100. We're locked in, absolutely locked in for this podcast.
Locked in.
Welcome to the show, everyone. We appreciate everyone always watching and listening and all that good stuff. But Nick, before we dive into some more Dragon's Dogma, as you have finished it now, I'm gonna talk about that as well as some Stellar Blade demo impressions.
Stellar Braid.
But Nick, before we dive into that, how was your week?
It's pretty good. Yeah, the weather was really nice. Watched some very good NC State basketball on Friday and Sunday. Final Four. What's up? So very excited for that. And then me and Alicia played some soccer this weekend. We went to play it against sports, and I felt so basic. I bought a soccer ball and a basketball. And then we just went to the park and just kind of like kicked the soccer ball around. So it was
sweet.
Yeah, it was a good time. It's a good weekend.
Good.
Yeah.
And you had Friday off, right?
Yes, I had Friday off. I didn't plan to play Dragon's Dogma 2 as much as I did on Friday, but I ended up doing that. I woke up, went to Starbucks, got me coffee. I took the dog and got her a little pup cup.
Hell yeah.
And then they came back, and it was like 8:30. Came back and just started playing Dragon's Dogma, and then I took the dog to the park, and they came back and played more Dragon's Dogma.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
It's my day off. Like,
it's your day off. You do what you want.
Yeah, and Alicia was working, so it's like I didn't necessarily feel bad about just like kind of like quote unquote wasting a day off. But
yeah,
it was nice.
Sweet.
Yeah. How about you? How's your weekend?
It was really good. I was also off on Friday. Parents took the kids to the beach, so it was a kid-free week, which is nice. I played a lot of Dragon's Dogma this week, so that was good. And then Friday, I kind of did the same thing. I mean, I got up and I was gonna go. Well, I did go. I was waiting for this like local video game store was open. They opened it up at noon. So I was kind of like lounged around for a little bit, and then I got up and went out there, and then I picked up some Ruby Tuesdays. I got their like salad bar. Got that. Drink a beer, like a 1 o'clock beer. Like,
Nice.
and then I met my wife Brittany up at her job, and we just sat in the car and ate the salad, which was kind of criminal. The amount that they charged me for the salad was like, I get it's a salad bar, so like you can theoretically
Get as much as you want.
get this like loaded, and they have like like pasta salad and stuff like that. But I don't really.
Who likes pasta salad?
I actually do like pasta salad, but I'm also like not a big eater of it. Like I don't know if I'm gonna get a salad bar, I'm just gonna get a salad bar. Like
Okay, let me correct myself. I think pasta salad is okay. I never crave it or seek it out.
Yeah, like.
But maybe I just haven't had like really good pasta salad.
I think you probably just haven't had a really good pasta salad. Like if you go to like your local Publix or even like a Harris Teeter or like Lowe's Foods or something, they probably have a salad bar. And they probably have some pretty good pasta salad. But again, like you said, like I'm never craving it, and I'm never like, man, I just kind of want some pasta salad. It's just like, oh, maybe I'll get like a little swig of it or something.
A little swig
if I'm there. But broccoli salad is fire.
Yeah.
Broccoli salad is absolutely fire. But yeah, I did that, and then I ended up going to the mall because I wanted to go to this other video game store. Didn't really find anything. Just kind of was just walking around.
Oh, what a nerd.
Yeah, got money to burn. Yeah, just kind of walked around and then came back, and it was like, I don't know, like 2:30, 3 o'clock maybe, and I was like, "Dragon's Dogma, man." And then,
It's login time.
yeah,
Stop
it's
time.
Dogma time. And we had already gone out, like, a couple times that week. We took our grandma out to dinner.
Mhm.
This local bar on Wednesday, they had, like, music bingo, which we went to. So that was
Nice.
pretty fun. So we had kinda gotten our fill of, like, going out. Um, so we didn't do anything Friday, so my wife came home and she ended up taking a nap since the kids weren't there, and I was like,
It's dogma
"It's
time.
more Dogma time." So yeah, it was a great weekend, and then, Saturday was a absolutely beautiful day. The kids got, uh, home around, like, 1 o'clock. They had, like, a Easter egg hunt in their downtown area, so I went
Mhm.
took, my son to that. Again, super nice day. They came back, cleaned my grill, and, made some burgers and dogs.
Not burgers and dogmas?
Yeah, the burgers and tacos. I did make hot dogs for the kids, but I also made some brats too. It was
Ooh,
it was good.
nice, man.
Yeah.
What a lovely weekend.
It
What
was
a
great.
just a gorgeous,
Yeah,
gorgeous weekend.
it was absolutely great. And then,
Sublime.
then yesterday we had Easter with the fam.
The fam?
Dude, I was so, like, kind of, like, I wouldn't say super sweaty, but I was, like, low key sweaty after we were done playing.
I
Just,
was
like,
I was high key
I
sweaty.
I
My
could
my
just
ass was wet.
I could just feel, like, the stickiness of the sweat.
Yeah,
Um,
for the listeners, we played like 10 minutes of soccer in the backyard, and it was just monkey in the middle.
yeah, but it's
But
grueling. I mean, it's
oh my gosh, it's grueling. Yeah, it was like kind of hot,
yeah,
so it was a little
yeah,
a little sticky out.
yeah, it was warm, especially
Uh,
when you're moving the muscles. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
And then came back and didn't really, we settled in, and I thought about playing some Dragon's Dogma, but I was like, you know what, I got to check out the Stellar Blade demo. So that's
Yeah,
what
I'm
I did.
excited to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I guess I'll jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I think the demo dropped on, I think, Friday.
Mhm.
Um, but it's a mix of, like, Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, not as fast as those games are. It's more on the line of, like,
Like Sekiro? I'm hearing a lot of like Sekiro light.
no, I don't think it is.
Okay.
I think it's more in the vein of, like, maybe Eliza P, as far as,
Mm,
like, the deflecting goes, because, like, the bosses, they do have, like, a stamina meter, to where you can break them down, and then once you break them down, or once you deplete it, you then press, I think it's triangle, and you do, like a big move on him
like a
on
crit.
him. But yeah, like a crit, but it's got, like, it's kind of interesting because there is a like a skill tree that you have after after you collect. So there's not souls per se, like, a typical Dark Souls, or Soulsborne game, but every enemy grants you XP. So I don't think you lose it when you die. I didn't experience that. Um, so it might be kind of like maybe a newcomer's, like, if you've always been curious about, like, the Dark Souls games, but maybe Elden Ring wasn't quite your jam. Maybe that was too open world. I don't know. Maybe Stellar Blade will be kind of more up your alley
Excuse
to
me.
kind of get you into into the sub series. But uh yeah, so it's got the skill tree. It looks like there's different variations of, you could either go on the dodge route, because they have, like, a perfect dodge you can do,
Okay.
where you can, like, do, like, a step back, and then if you time it right, you can, I think, trigger a button maybe and do some extra damage, or you've got a deflect, which I'm not the biggest, like, parrying guy in the world. And it felt pretty good. Like, I feel like I could nail it pretty
Okay.
well.
That's good.
Um,
Nice.
so that was awesome. But yeah, it feels, again, it feels kind of like the way a traditional Souls game is. You have big vistas, relatively large areas to kind of explore. Um, it's got the grace points,
Oh wow. Okay.
the bonfires, but they're so relaxing. It's like a little, they call it a camp, so it's got, like, um an area where you can sit, and that's where you heal and all that stuff, and it'll say some enemies do regenerate or come back or whatever. Um, And then there's different variations of the camps. I've only come across 2, and I'm assuming there's only gonna be 2, because the one that was right before the end of the, right before the boss in the demo was a little bit more. You could do a little bit more stuff, like, you could this one, like, it unlocked fast traveling between all the points that you'd already come across. Um,
That's nice.
so I don't know, I didn't try that, so I don't know if you can go back to a previous one and then fast travel to that one. I'm not quite sure if it works that way. I didn't
I'm
test that
assuming
out.
so, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. But there's also, like, there's again, like a Soulsborne game where you can go back and unlock a shortcut to, it's got all that stuff. Um,
Wow. I
yeah,
didn't expect it
it's
to be so much like a
I
Souls-like.
I I didn't either. So that was very uh
Surprising.
a turn on. Is that the like
A turn.
I mean, we would say we would say turn off if, like, we didn't like something, but I feel like using the phrase turn on in a video game is kind of weird.
It's,
Um, maybe I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean. Yeah, it definitely enticed me
we get
to.
it, Harrison.
Yeah.
You were turned on.
Hey, this game jiggles, man. Yeah, it is very jiggly. Like the
Like
second, like,
over the top, you
but
think?
honestly, not that bad. Like, I guess if you were, like, I don't know,
Good
weebing and just
looking,
just looking, like, yeah,
not a
there's probably
weirdo.
some.
Yeah.
But when you're in the action, like, it's, I don't know, you're not paying
You
attention.
which suit did you wear?
There's only, I mean, I think I got another suit, but I didn't try, I didn't put it on. It's just the standard green one, but I think there's one, like,
Okay.
where you can be almost completely naked, but it's interesting
Hear
is
me
you take
out.
you take more damage too, so that's kinda like the
Ah, okay.
the hard mode, essentially, I guess, of the game.
Is it the hard
Um,
mode?
hey, one
Sorry,
could
I'm
say.
I'm going off. I'm sorry.
But I don't think, like, of course, there's gonna be controversy, over the internet about it. I don't think it's any worse than Bayonetta. Like, Bayonetta, you're literally naked when you're
Yeah,
using your hair fight. Like,
or
it's
near.
no
Like near's
different.
kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's always gonna be discourse, but it's whatever. It's like, I think it's a really fun game. Again, it's kinda like right in between, like, Lies of P, Fastness, and maybe, like, Bayonetta. It's maybe more on the sides of Lies of P. It's not a super quick game. You would expect, I guess, just like the anime, like the cutscenes and stuff, because they are, like, pretty anime.
Yeah.
Um, but you would expect, like, the cutscenes, going from the cutscenes to the actual gameplay, you would expect, Eve to be faster, but
It means like Bloodborne speed.
maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
It's kinda
Yeah, I
hard
feel like
it's kinda
probably
hard to
Lies of P is
describe.
probably good.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, it's got your but you're not attacking with, like, the right trigger and art, and, and the right bumper. It's square for light attacks, triangle for heavy attacks. You can jump and slash, as well as
Mhm.
dodging, again, parrying and stuff like that. So, but it's got, like, the little, your Estus flask. Like, you start out with 3, so you
Of
can
course,
use that. I mean, it's pretty. It's
it's pretty on the nose about it.
Yeah, it's not quite like a Liza P, where it's like, okay, yeah, this is like a
Oh, this is
legit.
the yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, it's very heavily inspired, is what I'll say. But it's but
Okay,
it's
well,
I think it's gonna be a day one for me. Unless, like, the reviews drop that week and I don't know, they just don't like it or something like that, but or maybe it's bad, but it looks super great. It runs at
mhm.
60. It's Yeah,
Well,
it's
this
cool.
definitely entices me more. Hearing that it's not necessarily a Souls-like, but similar to
Yeah, I
something
mean,
like
I
that.
I died once on the first, like, the boss encounter. Um, but I could definitely see where people maybe can struggle with it, but, uh, like, there's checkpoints in the game. Like,
Mhm.
I did when I died with, like, the couple times that I died, I didn't go back to one of the camps. It just started me out right before the fight, so it's not.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's not,
that's
like,
that's
super
nice.
brutal in those regards, but I could definitely see that some of the enemies can be a little bit challenging, because they do have, like, shields and stuff where you either have to parry or dodge and get behind them, or something like that. So there's definitely some variations of the enemies. They have, like, there's a bunch of different, like, locked chests where you can either, you find a corpse or something, and they have like a note they left behind, and they're like, oh, blah blah blah,
Look, my
it's the end of
cube.
days, and here's the code to the pharmacy.
Oh my days.
Oh my days. So there's definitely like a lot of chests. There's a couple of areas where you can explore a little bit. It's not quite as um I don't want to say detailed, but there's it's not quite as much exploration as like a typical Souls game, but it's there if you want to. If there's it's there if you want to look around. There's always going to be some gold or whatever the monetary system is, but there's always something to find, I think, in every
Okay.
every area.
So it's not super open then. Like you're not like stepping out into a
No,
vast landscape of any sort. It's
no, and unless like again, it's just like 45 minutes maybe of this demo. So unless like maybe it
okay.
does circle around like completely, but like you start out on this beach and it's clearly there's nothing else. Like you're dropping in like a hell diver or like an ODST, and stuff goes wrong and you crash in on the beach, and it is funny because like the girl pulls you out and you're you're like pretty much naked, and then it's like a
Of
super
course.
anime moment, and like the I don't know, the nano suit like like crystallizes all over her body, and then there's like a beautiful ass shot, and then you're in the game.
Oh my god, of course.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely, but I mean again, it's no worse than Bayonetta did the same thing.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, Bayonetta has some questionable
so yeah,
camera
so if you had
shots.
issues with Bayonetta, maybe Stellar Blade isn't your game, but I think it's just fine. So
Yeah. I mean, thing is, I don't know. I don't know if it did. I don't think it detracts from the game itself in any
no,
way.
no,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, like Xenoblade 2 had some questionable
of course, yeah,
questionable scenes or camera shots, but it doesn't take away from the game. It's just
no, and like
it's
Resident Evil does
got
the
that
same
anime
thing
stuff.
with like with Ada and stuff. Like I mean, there's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways,
It is what it is.
yeah,
I think the discourse that I've seen is I think it's to me it's a little bit ridiculous when there's been plenty of examples in the past. So it's like all right, it's just not for you. If you don't like it, just then don't play it. It's fine. But I think this game could potentially like score really high. I think it's very interesting, and the world is really cool. Like it's like a post-apocalyptic Earth. The monster designs are I think pretty cool looking. Like
mhm.
yeah, I think this game there's something there. There's something
And
there.
you're taking back Earth, right, on behalf of the humans that are in space,
Yeah, as far as I don't know because like I thought that you were like a robot person or maybe
like a
like an android
yeah.
or something like that. Like, but I mean, there's a scene where someone gets their arm cut off, and there's clearly blood shooting out. So,
Huh,
and you're one of the warriors. So one of your warrior people. So I don't know, but
interesting.
yeah, there's something here with this game. I
Okay.
think it could be really cool. I think you should definitely try it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely wanna give it a shot.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk some more Dogma, Nick.
Some
And
dogma.
you talk now. I've been talking forever about Stellar Blade, but yeah, tell me your experience with the end game.
Well, I won't go into too many details on the end game, but last time, I guess on the last episode, I had just gotten into the second area. What is it called? Batal?
But Batali,
Batali? Yeah. Um, that area, it's really cool. I know you said you didn't like it when you first got there because it's very dense, like very enemy
yes,
dense. It's got a
yes.
lot of enemies around every corner. But I think I think it's a really cool area. I still like the other region more. I feel like there's more to it. There's more caves, there's more cities, or there's more towns, I should say. Whereas Batal kind of has like the one main city and then a couple of points of interest to go to, and then it has another area out in the southeast. Um, but man, I really loved this game. I had so much fun with it. So much fun changing classes, like changing from the thief to the warrior and then to the mystic spear hand, which is a really, really cool
I haven't unlocked
class.
that one.
I think you need
I just
to.
unlocked the trickster. That's like the only one I have.
You still don't have the warrior or
Uh,
the. Oh no, you said you got the sorcerer, right?
yeah, I got the sword. I'm currently playing as a sorcerer. I think I'm like one more level for maxing it out, and I think I'll be done with the sorcerer. I liked it at first, but once you get swarmed, like you're done. Like you're just dead.
Yeah, and
There's no yeah, there's no way getting away.
I guess you could use like the thief, like the passive thief skill of like, I think it's like enemies don't target you as much.
I
Did
had
you
that
pair that?
on. Yeah, I had it
Let 'em work.
on. It did work a little bit, but like once your characters are dead, like they just come
Oh
back in,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's impossible to get away.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
yeah,
I want to
I'm
play it
still very
still.
high on the game, but I've had some frustrating moments for sure. I'll talk about them here in a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I think I have to, but yeah, I really like the classes. Yeah, Mystic Spear Hand is really cool. I'm close to maxing it out, and then I want to try. Well, I'm currently trying the it's called like the Magic Archer. It's one of the other ones that you unlock. It's like an archer, but you also have like magic spells
Yeah,
and the arrows kind of like automatically lock on, that kind
that's
of
cool.
stuff. So that class is really cool. I'm doing that one in New Game Plus, and I haven't gotten very far in New Game Plus. So I don't know if like if anything about the New Game Plus is different aside from you just
And they
starting off
just
very
added
strong.
that, right?
No, I think it was it launched with New Game Plus.
Oh, because I thought I saw something where they like there was a title update and they added New Game Plus.
I don't know. I started it on Saturday.
Dragon Dogma 2 title update adds start new game. What is that?
Oh, that's just if you want to, like, if you
Oh,
have a
like a
current
second
character and you
file
want
or
to,
something.
yeah, just like start a
Oh,
new file.
okay. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Carry on. Sorry.
Um, but yeah, going back to Batali and that entire region, I still need to explore it more. Like once I, if I play it enough to get to that region again in New Game Plus, I'm just gonna explore more and kind of go off the beaten path, stay away from the main quest a little bit more than I did on the first playthrough. But yeah, man, like the fights with the big enemies, I don't think they ever got old. The
Yeah.
fights with the dragons, like those are super badass. Like there's so many cool moments with your pawns, whether you're like high-fiving them after a battle or if they're catching you and you're falling or
Oh,
you're
it's
jumping
so
off of the
good.
back. Like there's so many cool like random things that can happen in this game that definitely held true throughout the end of my experience with my playthrough. And uh I think the story is like very okay. I think it's kind of a generic, oh, you are the chosen one. You have to claim you're the rightful heir to the throne and you have to claim your place, like that kind of story. And then I got to the new game plus and it ended like or sorry, not new game plus. I got to the post game and the post game ends on a very cool note.
Okay.
If you like you have to like kind of go to that ending or like take that ending route and that takes you to the post game.
Okay.
Um, but it ends on a very cool note, I will say. I yeah, it's really great. I can definitely see the frustration with a lot of the systems in place with the
Yeah.
game. And like if I were to give it a score, I'd give like a 9 out of 10 or
Okay.
a high 8 or not,
Yeah.
like
I
high
think
8
that's where
probably.
I'm at right now with it.
Yeah. Like I don't think like the real lack of a fast travel is a problem because you get so many fairy stones and you get a lot
Yeah.
in the post game as well. And I think those carry over. But
And the ox cart is like more or less like like a fast travel. Like I did
yeah,
start to use that. It got a little bit frustrating because like there is some lot there's once you if you're doing like a lot of the story stuff, like you're constantly going back to is it Vernian? Vernon?
Burnworth,
Burnworth.
I
Okay. So
think.
you're constantly going back to the capital. Um and once you get to like Batali, like there or Batal is in Batali, whatever. The city,
Yeah.
there's like an ox cart that takes you to the checkpoint station and then takes you to Burnworth, which it's there and you can use it, and you may I don't know what like the percentage chance of like getting caught, like you get raided on the road or something like that. So I
Mhm.
think it happened like every other time maybe for me. It's not really a big deal. Because typically like it'll get me pretty close to my destination. So if the cart does get destroyed, I'm pretty close. But I could see where people's frustrations lie with that because it's like, okay, why not just make it easy and just let people fast travel, or maybe put more port crystals around the world. I've only found the one in Vernworth and the one in the
Mern
southwest portion
of the main region.
of like the main region.
I
There's the
think I
one
think
near
that's Merv.
Merv, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did get an item where I guess you can create a port crystal, like a permanent port crystal.
Yeah. Did you put
But I
that in
haven't I
Batal?
haven't used that yet. I
Yeah,
guess
I
I
put
should
mine
put
in
it.
Batal. It was kinda clutch.
Okay. Maybe I should do that because I was like, well, where am I going to use this at? But so yeah, I could get the frustrations and like I can see where maybe because I mean I've listened to a few podcasts of people that reviewed this game and they love it, but they're like, okay, it's a 10 out of 10 for me, but I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because I can't recommend this to everybody because there's these clear like flaws in the game, like the fast travel stuff, like you know, and I understand like
Yeah.
the developer wants you to, explore, and I appreciate that because, you know, at certain points in these types of games, like once you get all the cities, like you're just constantly going fast traveling and you're not really exploring unless like you really want to. Um, so I get why they did it, but also it's like, all right, like maybe for
Yeah. It and I will give kudos to the game because the map looks really big when you look at it on the screen, but the time it takes to actually walk somewhere is never as long as it feels like it's gonna
yeah,
take,
that's true. That's true.
which I think that's a super smart design, and that's one thing I really like about this game is just the world design itself feels like a mix of like very, very natural and then very condensed.
Yeah,
Like the main region it's sprawling, but you can get from A to B in like 10 minutes. If you just run, like you can avoid enemies and just run.
yeah,
And you might find some stuff on the way. And that's super cool. Like you like you go the same route like 10 times, right? You go from A to B 10 times for whatever reason, but you're not always taking the same path.
yeah,
Sometimes you're veering off, sometimes you're finding something new, sometimes you fight, a griffin that flies down. Like the experience of going from A to B is never the same. And that's like one thing that I really like about this game compared to something like Elden Ring, where with Elden Ring everything's kind of set,
it's the
right?
same. Yeah, it's the same
Yeah,
exact
it's the
every single
same.
time. Yeah,
So like once, and that's why it's so easy to fast travel
yeah,
because not necessarily because the world doesn't change in that regard, but you know, once you've seen it, you've seen it.
yeah,
But yeah, that's one thing I really like about this game is that the world feels very alive and very condensed. Like there's just a lot going on
yeah,
wherever you are, and sometimes that's to the game's detriment with
yeah.
Batal, Batali.
Yeah, and, yeah, once because there's a couple different ways to get into Vitali. You can either, like, kind of do, like, a not shortcut, but it's kind of like you're sneaking around the back way, um, kind of like a side entrance in, I guess, or you could go through the main story where you have to get a pass to get into, like, the main gate into Vitali.
Mhm.
I didn't do that. I went to the side route, and I got in, because I was trying to do this, like, mission where you have to, like, do the sculptor mission. Did you do that one?
I don't think I did.
Okay, so
I got the mission, but
okay,
I
yeah,
didn't.
there's a mission where in Vernworth, there's this guy that he's paying for the sculptor to sculpt him something and then have it shipped back to him. But he's over in the sculptor's over in Batal, which I know we keep saying Batali and Batal, but Batali and
What is it?
Batal, but Batal is the city, Batali is the region. So he's over in Batal, and I didn't know how to get there, and I ended up just seeing this little spot on the map, and I was like, maybe I can get over there, and I crossed this bridge, and I went through this tunnel, got through, had a super hard time with this the golem that showed up, and then I
Oh,
died a
I
few
remember that. Okay,
times,
yeah.
and I was like, "You know what? Let me just run past it." And I ran past it, and it was fine. Got to Batal, and then talked to the sculptor, whatever, and he's like, "All right." He's like, "I want to sculpt a griffin." So he's like, "I know where this griffin's nest is. Meet me there." He's like, "It might be a little bit easy because he's like, I need you to fight this griffin for a while so I can draw it or whatever." He's like, "If you can find a Medusa and cut her head off, you could use that to actually freeze the enemies." Um, and you could do. I didn't do that, of course, but then I started to explore Batali a little bit in like the big kind of wasteland area where it's got all like the
Oh,
gondolas.
the
Yeah.
gondolas.
Um, and I was starting to get really frustrated there because like you said, it is so dense with enemies that you'll run away from, a pack of wolves, and then all of a sudden you'll trigger some goblins.
Mhm.
And I was just getting like decimated. And I was like, all right, I gotta figure something out. So I ended up taking this one like path, and I was doing pretty good. And then it brings me up on this cliff, and there's these. I don't think they're the harpies, but they're like Batali's version of the harpies. They're a little bit different, but they're more or less harpies. They're really hard to fight when you use a thief. Like, you do have, like, the rolling jump attack you can use, and that
But
can
that's really
help,
it.
but that's really the only method of you can attack with unless you my, um my pawn is an archer, so, like, she would shoot them down, and then I can go in for the kill, but getting really frustrated with that. I died a bunch of times there, made it up to, like, this tower. There's a couple of enemies there. There was I said bomb. There's a fire at the very bottom, and there's like on this coast area. Um, Probably like 15 enemies around this fire, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going there. Got up to the tower and fought off some enemies. Died a couple times. Made it back through. Went through the tower, killed the enemies there. Then it turned nighttime. Then it came out, and there was like this phantom. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's like
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah.
it turns night, there's like this ghostly enemy that attacks. So he's waiting out there, and he starts laughing. And I'm like, dude, I can't catch a break, man. Like, I just could not. And I was, of course, it was I'd been out in the wilderness for a while, so like my health was pretty much all the way gone. I had one fairy stone. I'm like, man, do I really want to use the fairy stone here? Like, I may need it, and then it was going to take me all the way back to um
To Runworth?
Vernworth, and I was like, I just don't wanna make this trek again all the way back to Batali when I haven't even done the mission I was supposed to do. But I wanted to explore it. I was getting so frustrated, and I ended up, I don't know, I think I ended up beating that encounter, um, with, like, the skin of my teeth, and then I don't know, I don't think I warped. I think I ended up making my way back to one of the gondolas, got on the gondola. And then a harpy started attacking me and killed me. I'm like, there's just no break in this specific region. There was just, and I was getting so frustrated. And I did find out that you can, if you get like hit, like the death hit you get, you can
You
still
can heal.
heal, but then they still attack you while you're on the ground, and the animation to get up takes forever when you have no stamina. So I was just, man, yeah, it was like a 2-hour stint where I was so frustrated, and I was like, I'm about to put this game down and just be done. 'Cause I was getting that frustrated, and then I just overcame it, and then it's been pretty good since.
Are you
Uh,
still in are you still in Batal?
well, I mean, no, not really. I did like the Phantom Ox Cart mission. Did you do that one?
No.
Oh gosh. Okay, so there's
Did
there's
I
there's
did
this
I do
mission.
anything?
There's this mission where there's this ox cart that runs at night, and people think it's weird because ox carts aren't allowed to run at night. And you do the mission. I won't spoil anything since you haven't done it, but um, you end up getting onto this ox cart, and it takes
Mhm.
you to the destination, and then you get attacked by the soldiers there, and it was probably like 10 soldiers maybe, and I was playing as a sorcerer. So my pawns would get immediately wiped, and then they would come
Mhm.
after me, and I have no means of protection because, like, you can unlock the ability where you can make your magic take less time
Oh,
uh,
to cast?
to cast, but it still took too long for me to be able to do anything by the time they because like enemies can leap at you from like 20 feet away. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably died about 15, 20 times on that specific encounter. And
Jesus.
then I ended up beating it, but man, it was super frustrating. And that was also in Batali, so it was just like, man, this area
Man,
sucks.
fuck this area. Man, I did I did not have that hard of a time. Like, I just didn't have this like a similar experience because I don't think it was because I went the main route, like went through the checkpoint camp
Yeah,
and did that, but yeah, I didn't run into like anything crazy on the way to the city.
yeah,
And then once I was there, I put down the port crystal.
I definitely didn't do
Uh,
that.
yeah, and then I did more exploring from there. And I think I was using the thief at that time, and I had that one leveled up all the way. So like I was really feeling that class and
Yeah,
having the dodge. Like you get stun locked in this game, and
yes, all the
if you
time.
have yeah, and if you have any other class aside from the thief or something that can dodge, which I don't even know if any of the other vocations can dodge, but yeah, you get stun locked, and it's kind of infuriating when it
Yeah,
happens. But yeah, I see what you mean. I get the frustration, and like sometimes like your pawns will just like fall off cliffs
yeah.
and die. Like my I was at the coast like south or no, it was like northeast of the city in Batal. And I was like, I saw this guy in a cave, and then I went up above the cave and went over to this like small little town with a couple of houses, and I fought a bunch of enemies. And then I was like leaving to go back. I was like, where's my squad? Where are my pawns? And they were all dead. And I guess they had all fallen off the cliff at some point or gotten shoved off or something. But
Yeah, I've had that happen a couple of
I was
times.
like, dude, like, I
I
really
don't
like my people.
think I've ran into the Dragon's Plague yet. However, I did when I went to Vernworth and I went to the pawn area.
Mhm.
I grabbed this one pawn, and then the text came up for the Dragon's Plague, and I was like,
That
okay,
means that means
they
they
had
have
it.
it. Yeah.
Okay, and I was like, okay, this is very questionable. Like, why is this popping up now? I'm like 15 or so hours in, and then I was like, all right, well, let me, she doesn't wasn't acting crazy, but I know it takes like a little bit of time. We were coming back into Vernworth, and she had said something like very questionable, and I was like, I I can't risk this. So I picked her up and I yeeted her off the cliff, and she died. I was like, I can't risk it.
Can't have them acting up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had when I fought a dragon, I had one of my pawns like get picked up by the dragon and like
yeah,
kind of like there's like some purple stuff going on. The dragon was like, "Ugh,"
got gnawed on a little bit.
yeah, I got gnawed on, and I saw some like a purple aura
Yeah,
on the pawn. I was like, it's probably the dragon's plague that's happening
yeah.
right now. So
So
I
is it
switched them
different
out.
dragons or is it just the same one that's attacking you?
I think it's different dragons.
Okay, because the only one that I fought is the main one where he's like arisen, blah blah blah. So I don't think I've came across any other dragons as far as I know.
Where was that you fought and killed it?
No, no, no. I fought one in um is it Harv? Like you get that it's part of like the main story. You go to
Oh,
Harv and
Merv.
like Merv, yeah, is it yeah,
Is it
Merv.
Merv or Harv? It's one of those two. I
One of
don't
those
know.
two.
Melv. Melv.
Melv. Okay. Melv.
People are probably
Yes.
so pissed off listening to us mispronounce all
I'm sure.
these
Yeah,
cities.
Melv. Yeah. So fought the dragon there for I think that was part of one of the story missions. Um and then I fought it one there was like same dragon was right before like the cave I went to kind of sneak into Batali. And then he showed up again while I was traveling through Batali.
Hmm.
But it was always the same one because like your heartbeat or well, it makes the heart beating sound, but obviously you don't have your heart. But
Yeah.
uh, so
Maybe
yeah,
it
I've
is.
only fought that one. Um, so
Actually, no, I think it's different because the one I fought didn't have like it didn't say like arisen,
yeah,
come face me.
okay. Have you resurrected anybody?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's just been random people that I've found dead.
Well, So at the border checkpoint, there's that sorcerer Myriad. Were you able to sneak into his home?
Mm-mm.
Did you try to go up t go and talk to him? He's like, he won't let you in or talk to you, whatever.
I don't think so.
Okay, so
I think
there's a sorcerer that lives up there, and I think his wife had died or something. I'm not quite sure. But if you try to knock on his door, he'll tell you to go away. If you sneak around back, jump on like this broken cliff or this broken like concrete fence or whatever, you can then jump up into his balcony and then just walk in his home. And he's had like a couple like books and stuff, some interesting stuff. And then
Mhm.
I went downstairs and he's like standing in front of his door, like I guess like listening to make sure you're gone. And then he turns around, he starts attacking me. So I was like, "Whoa, bro! I, I thought we were cool." And then I end up killing him. The fight like goes outside, I kill him, and then and his body was just laying there, and I couldn't bring him back or anything. Uh, or I think I could maybe I couldn't remember if I had the stone or not, the wake stone.
Mhm.
I can't remember if I had one at the time, but he ended up yeah he died, and then I came back a couple days later after I
Still
had a
there.
wake stone. He was gone, so they took his body to Vernworth, and then I went to
Like the morgue?
the morgue and went to like the top floor and he was there and I brought him back to life and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then
Oh my god.
left. And he went back to his home and I tried to talk to him and he was like, "No, get away." I'm like, I
Like,
shouldn't
bro.
have I killed you, but I brought you back to life." I don't
That's
know.
cool. There's like a lot of continuity though.
Yeah, this
They
game is
die.
interesting.
It's definitely like it's going for something and it's going for it full send.
Yeah.
You know, it's not compromising on the vision.
So now that you're on your second playthrough, has like it slowed down for you at all? Are you still like itching to play or
It's slowed down a little bit, I would
okay.
say, just knowing that like the enemies don't really scale and yeah, there's not going to be like more of a challenge, but I do want to do more side stuff.
Did you
And
ever
like
see
I
the third region?
which one?
Like that where the elves live?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the third.
Yeah,
That
because
that
they
region's
like
really cool.
I haven't seen it, but yeah, apparently they like speak their own language. They have a different currency, which is also why I hate Batal specifically because like they don't like people from
Oh
the
yeah.
region you start out, and they're like everything is more expensive. Like if you notice, like the inn price, which is already ridiculous, and Vernworth, it's like 2,000 coins to stay at an inn, and Batal, it's like 10,000. It's
Well, there's another place in Batal that has a
okay.
$2,000 rate.
Okay, gotcha.
It's right by like the main whatever it's called, the place of worship.
Okay.
Yeah, it's near all the weapons and armor vendors,
Okay.
like
Okay.
right around the corner. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, God, I do not have enough money for this. And then I looked at all the prices in the shops and I was like, oh my God, where am I?
Yeah, the economy in this game is crazy. Like it's 2,000 to stay at an inn, but then it's only like 150 coins to use the ox cart. Like it's all over the
But then you
place.
get like 20,000 coins for completing a mission
That's
or
true.
completing a
Yeah.
quest. So it's like it I think it all evens out. And then
Yeah.
you spend 60,000 gold on a single weapon or
Yeah.
piece of armor or something.
Did you do the mission and then we can wrap up Dragon's Dogma 2 talk, but did you do the mission in the checkpoint where like the kid gets dragged off by the wolves?
Yeah, yeah.
Were you able to say save the kid?
Yeah, I saved him and brought him to back to the checkpoint.
Okay, I took too long and he died.
Okay, so I didn't even get to the checkpoint town before like
Oh
I found
wow.
him on the way.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so he was fine.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, because and I think I messed up because like you go after like that you get the mission, they're like, okay, you need to go question the people that saw him, saw it happen, and some people will say, oh yeah, I saw him here, and it's after a couple of interactions, like one of the guards was like, yeah, I straight up saw him getting taken by a wolf, And you find out by the other NPCs that at night that specific plant glows in the dark, and you can kind of follow that to lead you to
Oh.
that cave. Um, but I didn't do that, and I ended up just getting it ended up just showing me exactly where he was, and I went there, and he was the only thing left was just clothing, and you pick the clothing up and take it back to the person.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
"Oh, no, this is so sad."
Yeah, I
Uh,
was walking up and just saw on the map there was a place I could go to the left, so I went left and found a kid.
Saved little Timmy.
Save little Timmy. Man,
That's so
that's funny.
funny.
It's funny you can just kind of you can just not save him because he took too long.
And that's crazy that you missed the Phantom Ox cart because I thought that was a main mission.
Do you get it in Vermworth?
Yeah, I think it was like well, I overheard it from people talking, but
Did you get it from the guy, like the guy in Vermworth, the main
no,
quest
no,
leader?
I had used the Ox cart coming into Vernworth, and there's 2 NPCs talking about the Phantom Ox cart, um, and I had seen it too because like, it showed up, it was nighttime, and I saw it walking by, and it has, like, creepy blue lights around it, so it, like, it
Mhm.
looks like a phantom, and then it, like, it got too far away from me, and it ended up disappearing. So I was like, "What was
Hmm.
that?" And that was, like, pretty early in the game, and then the NPCs brought it up, and it activated the mission. It was like, "Phantom Ox card,
Oh,
explore."
see, mine. Yeah, I never like overheard anyone talking about it
Yeah,
for
and
whatever
it's
reason.
interesting it's an interesting mission because it has something directly to do with the queen. So, it's
Dang.
weird that it wasn't a part of, like, the main so and that's very interesting. This game is like, I don't know, man, there's so much I feel like you can miss so easily.
Yeah, because the quests are almost like too organic.
Yeah,
Or like you don't even know if you're about to run into a like a side quest or not.
exactly.
So it's hard to it's hard to specifically track something down. It's hard to look for something. Like you have to kind of just stumble upon different quests,
Yeah, because
things
I
like
I
that.
remember last week when we were talking about, like, the one of the earliest side quests you get when you get into Vernworth where, like, the, the armory guy, he's like, "Go to this cave where my items are stolen."
Yeah.
And every time I go up to him, he's like, "Man, those goblins, they sure are, I hope you got all the weapons in that cave." And I was like, did I miss the broadsword or something?" Like, and I went back and I completely explored the cave, and I did miss a couple of chests, but I still couldn't find anything.
It's gotta be there.
I don't know,
And you
man.
need to get that class too, because the warrior is great.
Is that the only place I can get it?
I think so.
Okay, maybe I have to. I don't know, man. I've been to that place like 3 times, but surely it's gotta be there somewhere, but yeah,
Yeah.
this game is insane. It's yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
really
good.
great. And no, I want to talk about the post game very briefly, and
Okay.
it's not really spoilery. Uh, but for the entirety of the post game, you can only if you die, you can only reload your save from an inn.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
if you die, you have to start that entire day over,
Wow.
essentially.
Okay.
And I didn't well, I didn't really realize that, and I was kind of like I went gung ho into a optional boss fight, and I hadn't rested at an inn in like 45 minutes. I was just kind of like
Oh
dicking around
gosh.
and doing stuff, and I died, and I was reverted back. And I was like, I think I had changed classes, so I was like back to a different class, and I was like, when am I? Like what?
When am I?
Like what is
Oh,
this?
that's frustrating.
Yeah, but once I realized that, it it just made me strategize a little bit
Yeah.
more. And
Now,
and
in New Game Plus, do your port crystals that you made, is that still there? Is the map still like
no, I think the port crystals
explored?
are gone.
Okay. So everything is reset pretty much except for your stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
your level, your items,
Okay.
any vocation progress. Yeah, and then the one frustrating moment in the post game is like for one of the missions or for one of the quests, I had to go back and forth between two places 6 times,
Jeez.
and I used fairies. Like you get a lot of fairy stones, but but I used like the majority of my fairy stones because like you had to go to this place up north, talk to them. They're like, hey, there's this guy down in Batal. Can you talk to him for me? So I went and
Yeah.
talked to him, and he's like, okay, I got this thing. Go talk to them. So I went and talked to them, and I had to bring the person back to Batal, and then they had to do their thing together, and then I had to go back to the other area again. I was like, oh my god, like this could have been streamlined. This
Yeah.
definitely did not need to exist.
You think like maybe in like New Game Plus, like they would have just unlocked free fast travel? Like I feel like that would have been acceptable.
Yeah,
Like as long as you get to the town, then you just unlock it like a traditional game.
right.
Yeah,
So
like
that part's a little weird, but
yeah. I do want to talk about the sculpted mission one more time to finish that up, and then we can go on to the news.
oh
But
yeah, yeah.
uh, so I went to the griffin's nest, and I started fighting the griffin, and then it ended up flying off. And then the guy was like, he's like, I don't know if that was enough time for me to be able to complete this sculpture. We'll see, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then you you have to wait a couple of like end game days, and then you come back, and he's like, all right, I got it ready. You can go see the viewing over, at the guy's house that he's sending it to, and you go there, and it's like this big extravagant event to this guy's house, and then the cutscene happens, and all the people are like, boo, or something like that, and he's like. He's like, I'm ruined. Like, he's like, I'll never pay that sculptor again. He was trash. And like, it does, like, the sculpture is like half
Like
done,
unfinished.
maybe. Yeah, it's like so unfinished, and like the details of the griffin aren't right. It's pretty funny.
I wonder what the outcome is if you like fight it for longer. I'm sure it's a better
Yeah, I think the longer you fight it, but I think you're supposed to find a Medusa, and then you could just
freeze.
freeze it, and then
Yeah,
it's good.
I do want to find a Medusa. I heard that's
Yeah. Apparently there's
really
a
cool.
shield in the castle, like in the capital in Vernworth, that you can use it as like almost as like a mirror shield. So if a Medusa
Mm,
looks at you, you can then
like reflect its gaze.
reflect its gaze onto Medusa, and it'll freeze.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I think there's a certain way you have to like kill the Medusa. Like you can't, if you cut off its head and you don't do it right, it'll say like completely unusable. Like the gaze is completely unusable. So you have to like do it right as well. So this game is wild, man. Like there's so
Yeah,
much stuff, like
it's
stuff
really
that
cool.
I thought for sure you would have seen, but yeah, that's crazy.
And the thing is, like, I didn't intentionally mainline it. Like, I did side stuff, but I kind of like fumbled into the latter half of the game, and suddenly I was on the last quest.
Yeah,
I
and
was
like
like, what
and
the
I
hell?
a lot of times I didn't even know if I was doing a main quest or not. Like sometimes, like it felt that way sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah,
This game is really cool. I recommend people try it at least. Of course, I know it's $70, so that's a high asking price. But if you're curious, wait for it to go on sale or something like that.
yeah,
I
and
definitely think it's worth. If you're at all interested in Skyrim or Elden Ring or any sort of like action RPG open world kind of game, it's
or
definitely got something.
pick up the first game on Switch.
Oh yeah, it's always like
It's
$5 or something.
yeah, yeah. I have. I actually pulled it up right before this, and I'd played like probably 10 hours of it
Okay.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar.
Okay.
It's like
Well, it's so similar
fundamentally
that when you boot up the main game, when you boot up 2, it never
just says
says 2,
Dragon's
it says
Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma. It's like, what's
So
what the
weird.
hell? Anyways, all right. Well, let's move on to the news this week. We'll start the bottom up, and we'll end
You're crazy.
with Hollow Knight. Um, Toys for Bob, they went independent from Xbox after the Xbox Activision acquisition happened.
Mhm.
It was pretty very like the writing on the wall was for Toys for Bob, like they were gonna get shut down as a studio. And they worked it out with Microsoft and went independent. But they're also have a contract with Xbox to make some sort of, we're assuming, some sort of existing IP. A lot of people are speculating that it's probably going to be Spyro, which I would love for them to have another. I mean, I really like the Reignited trilogy. A lot of people love like the Crash, Crash 4 and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm yeah, I'm happy that they didn't get shut down, of course, but yeah, it's interesting that Microsoft went that route. I guess they just didn't want them on the payroll, is my guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
this was I think this was a really smart move. by Toys for Bob. They get to keep their independence, keep their company,
Yeah.
and they're not, they're not working on Call of Duty
Yes, that
anymore, right?
probably they
That's a
probably
big
hated
part of
that.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah, a waste of creative energy for them. And then they still get the contract with Xbox and work on, the fun games that they want to work on, like, if they want to do Spyro or Crash.
Yeah.
Did they do Spyro?
They did
Actually,
the Reignited trilogy.
okay, they did Reignited.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean,
Pretty
I think it's a
sure
best
they
case
did.
scenario. Microsoft still gets that relationship with Toys for Bob, but they're just not on Microsoft's payroll anymore. So it's not you know unneeded overhead from Microsoft's perspective,
Yeah,
from
Toys
from
for
a
Bob.
monetary perspective. So I think it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I'm really happy that Toys for Bob was able to spin out.
Yeah, all the different layoffs that they had with that after that acquisition. Yeah, glad they were able to figure something out because I mean
Mhm.
they've been around for like 20 plus years. So I mean, yeah,
I hate to see them shut down because
because of an acquisition.
yeah,
Um, good old Jim Ryan. His final day was
Jim Lion Ryan.
Jim Lion Ryan. His final day was into fiscal March 31st. Um, he went on to the I think the PlayStation podcast, and I guess they just I haven't listened to it or anything. I just heard the headlines. But yeah, he confirmed that PlayStation 2 has sold 160 million units.
He moved that goalpost
He moved
just a
it.
little bit before he left. He
Yeah.
said, "He said we will not be beat by the Nintendo Switch." But they
Yeah.
will.
I mean, I think the last time they had like presented numbers was like it was like 155 million, right? Something like that.
Mhm. But that was like years ago.
That was years ago. But
But are there
they're not
any?
making new
Are
PS2, so
there
it's
any in
like
production?
yeah, there's no yeah. Are you
Like,
secretly like putting these things out?
where you getting that number, man?
Yeah.
You can't round up. Can't round up from 155 to 160.
Yeah, that's a big rounder. It's
Yeah.
5 million. But I mean, whatever. 160 million is coming from PlayStation. It's official. That being said, Nate, do you think the Switch will ever hit that? I mean, they still got to beat the DS, but
What is it at right now?
wasn't it like 140 something?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pulling it up. Let me look.
132 million. That was as of November 7th.
As of November 7th.
That's the article I'm reading right here.
Okay.
It's probably of 2023.
Okay, no,
So
they had another
they did have another like
report since then. Let me
okay.
see. Like, where's their?
Yeah,
Oh, here
that's
we go.
crazy. And I think obviously the PS2 was a great system in
Sorry,
itself, but it was also the
139.
cheapest DVD player as well. So I think that was like a very smart move on PlayStation's. I don't know if that was an intentional move. Because I mean, I
Mhm.
think they were like $100. Like DVD players were ridiculously expensive for playing DVDs back in the day, and
Yeah.
it was MSRP for the PlayStation 2. Was it like 200 or 250 or something like that, or maybe 300? I don't
Uh,
know.
it might have been 300.
Okay, but yeah, they were by far like the cheapest DVD player on the market. So again, not sure if it was completely intentional, but still a very smart move. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of that could attest to people just wanting a DVD player, and then you get a benefit of being able to play games. But
Yeah, it was
this
299.
still doesn't retract from detract from what the PS2 did and like all the incredible games it had on there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was never a big PS2 guy, but I recognize that it was really great console with a lot of incredible games.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, launched at 299.
299. Okay,
And the Switch is sitting at 139 million.
139. Okay,
Yep.
okay. Well, this yeah. Okay.
I think it'll hit it.
Because I mean, you got to think whenever they inevitably announce the Switch 2 or the Switch successor or whatever, they'll probably do like a pretty big price drop too for like the light, like put it down to like 150 or even like 100 maybe. I mean, that seems kind of crazy. And then getting like the
Yeah.
OLED down to like 250 or 200, and maybe just phase out the regular Switch.
And that's what's really impressive when it all comes down to it is the Switch
Never had a
has
price
never
drop.
seen a discount. Never had a price drop. It's not even discounted during Black Friday. It's just
Yeah, it's
bundled
never
with
even had
Mario
like
Kart.
a regular discount. Yeah, it's just always like these bundles, which is insane.
Whereas with the Wii, I mean, you could get that thing for $100 by the end of the life cycle, like 100,
Well, they even
150.
had like the what was it? Well, digital was it a digital only Wii, the red one, where they took out the disc drive, or maybe it couldn't go online. Which I can't remember
Yeah, I
which one
think
it
it was
was.
an offline
Okay,
system, which that was weird.
yeah, and it was like $100 or like $80. It was super weird.
Yeah, but the Wii was really cheap. The PS2 was $79, $100 by the end of its life cycle.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, not to knock the PS2 or the Wii, but Switch is doing it full price.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's
Once
crazy.
they start dropping the prices, I mean, I'm sure we'll get triple dippers, quadruple dippers. Just like, oh, let me, it's
Let me
something
get
to
the Switch
collect.
Lite.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me get the
get the
OLED. Let me
Lite.
get the Switch Lite. The Switch Lite is $150, $100.
Yeah, put like $100. So yeah, that would sell.
That's a
That would
steal.
sell like crazy. Um, so yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nick, you want to read the last one? And this one's kind of got the internet in a little bit of a tizzy today.
Yeah, happy April Fools, everybody! But this is
This is
somewhat
legit.
official. I mean, it's legitimate. Hollow Knight Silksong now has a page on the Xbox Store. I think it already had one on the PlayStation Store in the eShop, as far as I'm aware. Maybe the eShop was added today as well, but it now has a page on the Xbox Store. It says coming soon. That could mean that information is imminently on the way about Silksong. We will see. Maybe we'll see something in an Xbox event. Maybe we'll see something in a Nintendo Direct. But I think at this point, we're we're closer to it than we are not.
It's
I mean, that's hopefully that's true. But back in June of 2022, Xbox said the game was coming within a year, and then
clearly they
last
haven't.
year, in the first half of the year, they said they wouldn't be able to hit that mark.
Yeah.
And some people were hoping that it would come out late 2023, come out by the end of 2023, but here we are. It's April 2024.
I mean, I was prepared to drop everything today if they should have dropped it on April Fool's Day. Like, forget Dragon's Dogma 2, forget
Yeah.
uh oh gosh, Demon Souls, like, because I want to play that again. Yeah, forget everything.
Oh, I would too. I was like kind of getting hyped up when I saw that Wario 64 posted that.
Yeah,
I was like, man,
stars
this could be the
stars are
funniest thing.
aligning.
Yeah.
And then like the Twitter handle is Silksong out yet? That
It said
person posted
yes.
yes. I was like, well, okay, it's April Fool's, so of
Yeah, but
course.
I did see that and I was like, could it be? Could it possibly be?
Yeah, that would be huge. I'm obviously, like, that's gonna be like one of the biggest games of the year, but I at least want to get through Dragon's Dogma
Mhm.
before, because I know that's just gonna,
That would fall to the wayside.
yeah. Although there's not, what's like Stellar Blade comes out the end of April. What else is in April? Uh,
I think that's
could be a good time.
could be a good time for it. April or May could be pretty good.
Yeah, because May is what? Paper Mario, which I'm still like, I'll probably get that day one, but again, I'm not there yet as far as the hypeness
Mhm.
goes. And then what, Luigi's Mansion 2 is in June. I'm definitely way less hyped for that too.
Yeah. I hope it's not June
I
because
wish they had co-op in that game.
yeah. Yeah, hopefully April or May. June's reserved for Elden Ring, which
Yes.
means
Yeah, that is right. That is right.
July will also be reserved for Elden Ring.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope
So
we get like another trailer like I'm sure we will. I mean,
yeah,
because it's a trailer one, but yeah, maybe outlining like, okay, how far in the story do you have to be? Do you have I think you have to be up to the Mog point, right? Or fight Mog, kill Mog,
mhm.
maybe. I'm not sure.
I forgot how to get there.
I did too. I
I
did too.
forgot how to. Don't you have to?
I can't remember.
You have to fall asleep in a coffin? No, that goes.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what in the that underground area after you've I know that takes you to fight
That, like,
the
big, like, ethereal thing.
ethereal thing. Yeah, you're right.
Or
But
yeah,
yeah, I'm not sure. That game is
so
game is so
massive.
massive. Um all right, yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the news, and that is also going to wrap up the show. We
Wow.
appreciate everyone listening, watching. As always, if you can rate us or post a comment or review on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, that would be huge. That would be awesome and much appreciated. Um, I mean, who knows what could happen this week? I mean, we're in April. Nintendo
Well,
Direct announcement.
it's
Who
weird because like,
knows?
normally we wouldn't even anticipate one, but, you hear the rumors.
They never stop a swirling.
They never
They're just
stop
always
swirling.
out there. I mean, Hollow Knight 2 getting listed on all the storefronts is massive. So that could be
Yeah.
coming out anytime soon.
Oh, I forgot to
Maybe,
ask,
potentially.
uh, Diablo 4, that's out on Game Pass. Are you
Yeah.
gonna try that out?
I want to try it. I'm not like, I don't know.
Not, like, super hyped for it.
I'm not dying to play it.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a shot eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I
After
definitely
I
will eventually want to try it, and maybe when stuff slows down a little bit, I'll create a character and try it because I know it's really
Mhm.
great. I know a lot of people are like complaining about like the in game stuff, but it's like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like
I'm not a big
sometimes
end
games
game
just
guy.
end.
I'm not a huge, like, end game
Yeah,
guy.
like I don't like I enjoy like a post game thing where there's like an additional, some story stuff that can happen. I'm appreciative of that stuff, but like I don't need to do dailies and stuff like that. I'm good.
Yeah,
Um,
can't live
Somali,
in the this now.
no rumors that I mean, there's the ever speculation on YouTube that a lot of like YouTubers are talking about. This April Direct. I don't know exactly where they're getting this information from.
Yeah, the April Direct and then the May Metroid Prime. That one's Jeff Grubb.
That's
Is
Jeff Grubb, but it's also like an older source, so we don't really know if that's still accurate. But also, like, it would make sense because I do think Metroid Prime 4 is coming this year. I think it's going to be the final massive, or final big game for the Switch.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, I don't hear anything swirling. But I don't know. Stuff changes every day. There's always something new where I wouldn't expect. And they're like, oh, I was on a subreddit and someone said they, their uncle works at Nintendo, and here's this leaked Nintendo Direct list
They
of
ran into Jim Ryan in the grocery store and he leaked Bloodborne 2, it's like it could be anything.
what if that was like, I don't know, if I was Jim Ryan and I'm out the door, people don't a lot of people don't like Jim Ryan, let's face it. But he's been with PlayStation for 20 plus years. Uh what if like his swan song for his departure is just like Bloodborne 2? And then he's
Dude,
like
like
drops the hammer and he's out.
he should have gone out with some sort of cool announcement.
Like on the PlayStation podcast, like have it like I don't know if they live stream or not. They probably didn't. It was probably a rehearsed kind of thing. But yeah, if he was like, oh, and by the way, one last thing, guys. And then he ends with a Bloodborne 2. Like
Yeah,
massive respect to you, Jim Ryan. You did your thing.
that would win me over.
Yeah, I'd be like, "No, come back, please." But yeah, that could be cool.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week. I'll probably talk a little bit more Dragon's Dogma as I get to the story. Nick, you may have some more stuff to say
Mhm.
about it. Check out that Stellar Blade demo.
Oh yeah.
That thing is awesome. I'm gonna try to jump back into Demon Souls this week as well. Um, but I want to. I've been kind of missing it a little bit after I kind of ended on a higher note than I started, but then Dragon's Dogma came out and that kind of took over my time. But yeah, we'll be back next Monday.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.